Hello, everybody. This one is a Wake Up Wednesday for you. It's a little bit different. I like doing ones that are a little bit different. It is, however, about waking up the arm and hands. Now, you'll notice I've got myself a big fancy ring on. No, it's not a real jewel. Maybe one day, but even then, I don't think I'd wear a real jewel. The reason I'm wearing this, though, is to remind you of some ideas. Two ideas I have for you for helping your students to wake up the hands and the forearms. And if you've been watching along, you know that waking up the hands wakes up the shoulder girdle, deals with all sorts of mess that can happen in here. And I believe that tension in the shoulder girdle is absolutely going to affect my ability to connect in my core. Everything's connected, right? So if I can wake up my hands, just like waking up my feet is a good thing, then I'm going to have everything else working better. I like to now work not just from the core out. In fact, I'm a little bit more of a working from the distal ends, distance eye focus, toes and fingers in. Interact with the outside world, right? Like these are my tentacles out there. Okay, so I'm also wearing a shirt with what I'd call a 3/4 sleeve. Now I did this actually with a student many years ago. She was working on her intermediate back then, so advanced one level exam. And she was very much more of a, what we call a jazzerina. Okay, she definitely had great technique, but she really came from a strong place all the time because jazz was her focus. But she was still wanting to do well in this exam, of course. And I needed her to soften up and to find her elegance and delicacy. I started suggesting that she'd wear a nice, of course, tight fitting crossover or type of shirt on like I've got right now that goes 3/4 sleeve. And that's this feeling of the air on her arm here, and even the feeling of where the material ended made her feel different through here. It made this part be different, be expressive, almost like you could reverse it and have, your leotard on and start wearing long gloves that go up to here. Anything that was bringing focus to this area as being different and floating and moving through space. And you know what? It worked really well. So just using how your clothing feels on your body to your advantage to wake something up. Okay. And we know what touch does. Having this part to the air feels different than this part that's not feeling the air. My brain can't help but notice this part. Then the other thing that I've done, I've got a more delicate ring on this hand and a nice big honking ring here, is to encourage one day. It's like dress up day for your students. And we're talking young kids on up, and it can be fun costume jewelry, but have them come in and put on some bracelets and put on some rings. And then all day we're going to do our dances, noticing. If you haven't worn a heavy ring, as soon as you put it on, you feel it. Heck, man, I could just wrap a Band-Aid around a finger and I would feel the weight of that for a little while, assuming that your students are integrated enough to be in a noticing state. So make sure you've done some integration moves, then have them put on their costume jewelry. Maybe they've got real jewelry, whatever. So instead of always stripping everything off for class, which is the typical, what can we add? What layers? What little sweater? Oh, you know what? If you've got a fuzzy feeling sweater that just feels so nice, like you an Angora sweater, it might not be nice to be sweaty in, but it would sure be nice if I'm feeling soft and fuzzy everywhere. I move differently than if I'm in something that's itchy. We all know that. Okay, so 3/4 sleeve for waking up the forearm, wrist, and hand for expression and aliveness there, particularly for port de bras or becoming more delicate, more about gestures and understanding some nuances. And then put some rings on. I could wear more rings. I could have put on a bracelet too. Anything, again, the weight, the effect, the jingle, the sound, the feel, all of that is helping your students. Okay, and then you can even give them, provided your class, nobody has a sensitivity to scents, you can even give them a little spritz of something that smells really good. You'll know from another video that peppermint oil would be a great one. It really wakes you up. But maybe you're going to spray a little lavender on them. Again, check that everybody's okay with the scent and lavender. And then you're going to spray a little lavender on them. And they're going to go around feeling elegant in their hands, in their clothing. They're going to smell beautiful and pretty. They're going to feel a whole different mood. They're going to then be able to remember that mood and recreate that mood without the jewelry, without the scent, in their leotard. But why not? It's fun and it works. Okay, love to hear how it goes for you. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and give a comment below. If you're watching on Facebook, yeah, give a thumbs up, a like, a comment, and share any of your ideas. You might be doing something similar. I'm sure somebody's going to say, oh yes, we wear necklaces sometimes. You know, I've got the necklace that we put on that sits here. I think of like the Titanic, heart of the ocean, a nice weighted one right there. How lovely that would be. Okay, so that's it for today. Enjoy. You could even send me some pictures of some students all dressed up. Get permission, I guess, but that would be fun too. Okay, bye-bye.